you, Amy, and I hope you enjoy your cheeseburger dinner today, right? I hope you enjoy it. Good evening, family. My name is Boots, and I'm a grateful alcoholic. I'm eternally grateful to know that I was always my problem, right? Um, now, right? I didn't know that way back when, right? I've been around the rooms and Zooms for about 20 something years now. When I first came in, I was 18 years old. So I was a youngin', right? I had a problem real young, and it wasn't with alcohol first, right? It was my perception of life, right? I thought sleeping with people's husbands was okay, right? I thought fucking 6 or 7 men, one man at a week was great, right? Because my low self esteem was my esteem was non-existent way before I picked up the alcohol and drugs, right? So thank God that I was introduced to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, right? Almost 25, 26 years ago, right? Because what happened is that like my life started to change one day at a time, right? My feelings about myself started to change one day at a time, right? I'm from New York City, and if you know anything about New York City, it's the city, it's the boroughs, and then it's the upstate. It's the capital and upstate and all that other shit. New York is humongous, right? So when I first entered the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, this is where I learned this statement from. I learned that babies born to the disease of alcoholism or born to the disease of addiction, right? Because me, I didn't have a chance because I was born to this disease. My mother was a stone cold crackhead. My father was a dope head, right? And I was 1 pound 13 ounces when I was born. I was damn near dead, right? But I knew something was different growing up. I knew that I was different, but I just didn't know how. I knew that I was special. I just didn't know the who. Right? I knew that there was a purpose. I just didn't know what it was. Um so I so so I was fucked up from the beginning of my life, right? They counted me out at the beginning of my life. The doctors and nurses say, "Oh, you got one more week with your baby, and she's on the respirator. She got a week to live." And God said no. God said no. So coming into a spiritual program because before I got here, I was atheist. But before I got to the rooms, I was atheist because I said, how can there be a God? Y'all talking about this God shit like it's for real, and how can there be a God when my mother's a crackhead, my father's a crackhead, I got molested, nobody wants me, I became a foster kid, all this old crazy shit that happened in my life. I said, how the fuck do you expect me to think that there's a fucking God? And my first sponsor said, just keep coming. Simple shit, keep coming. Right? Because the people who were around me allowed me to feel what I needed to feel, and they introduced me to a new way to live. Right? They allowed me to be mad. They allowed me to voice what was going on. They allowed me to do all that. But then they said this. They said, if you want to stop using, if you want to stop drinking, if you want to clean up the gutter that we call your fucking soul, do what we do. So that was New York, New York. Then I moved upstate New York because because I was 18 and I was out of foster care and I was getting ready to start this new life with no drug because I was introduced at 18. I said, "Oh, okay." Well, then I started believing what y'all started to say. Y'all started to say, have faith. Y'all started to say, God got you no matter what. Y'all started to say things that started to click because I wasn't drinking and using, so I started to remember shit. So then I went to upstate New York, and again I'm still in Narcotics Anonymous because I came from the fucking gutter. I didn't come from a two-family home and everybody had degrees and all that up. I didn't come from that shit, so I didn't know what the fuck that was. So I go to Narcotics Anonymous because we hit the gutters. We we did shit that they we did hit the gutters, man. I'm telling you, I was in the straight gutters. Uh, So anyway, this is an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, but let me tell you this, right? My third sponsor is here. This is my first time seeing my third sponsor in 20 years. And she had years back then, so I'm pretty sure she got a lot more motherfucking years now of clean time, sober time. Right? I'm pretty sure her ass. Julie, guess what? I no longer practice those behaviors no more, Julie. Huh? Julie, I love myself today, Julie. Julie, my soul don't have a hole in it no more, Julie. I'm not trying to fill it with everything except God, Julie. Huh? Oh, God. God is in his rightful place. So if you don't think this program works, that was 20 something years ago. That was my third sponsor. Next to her is Debbie, my last sponsor. My today's sponsor. Deb, I no longer want to kill people no more, Deb. Huh? Yeah. Because of you, because you guys, Julie, Deb, you guys put me back together again, slowly but surely, day by day, emotion by emotion. Julie, I remember you said this, and I'm gonna close with this. You said the broader the base, the higher the point of freedom, right? The broader the base, the higher the point of freedom. Your ass is all the way in New York, and her ass is all the way in Texas. Huh? So did I cover a couple of places? Yeah. I covered a couple of places, and everybody who's in my phone who live in Mexico, who lives in New Mexico, who lives in wherever the Wisconsin, wherever the fuck you live at, and I got your number. I'm telling you, the broader the base, the higher the point of freedom. That's what I was taught. Because this disease want me by myself, so I can revert back to the behavior, so I can revert back to the to me self-sabotaging my whole entire life by myself. That's what this disease wants me to do. Yeah, I landed the front row seat of motherfucking Alcoholics Anonymous, Julie, because drugs is no longer my problem. Alcohol now is, right? Because this thing is so fatal and so progressive and so this and so that. I went from alcohol to weed to boat to this to pills to mollies to this, and now I'm back at alcohol. Right? I'm back at alcohol, and it's only through God's grace and mercy that I volunteered to fuck up my life for the last 10 years, and I'm still here. And God has his rightful place today. and people have their rightful place in my life today. So you're talking to somebody who've experienced a whole lot of shit within the last 44 years. And if you don't think life is going, there's this one member who's on here. He say this, Ron. I think he all the way in somewhere else, but Florida or some he always. He says, if you don't think life is going to happen to you, it's coming out you 180, 100 miles an hour, and life don't give a fuck if you drunk or sober. He don't get the life don't give a goddamn. But I say that because I had people like put, you guys know I reference myself like Humpty Dumpty. So these ladies right here put Humpty Dumpty back together again, just in case you thought I was lying about my story. There they go. So I just say that because today was the day that I asked to choose to share my experience, strength, and hope. And what my hope is, my experience was, my hope is that you can get through anything in life. You can get through the death of your child. You can get through the death of your mother. You can get through life. And as long as you build a network that works and a sponsor that's always available, the sky is the limit. And your perspective can change about your whole entire life. Your perspective can change. Because now I know no matter how far down the scale I have gone, because I went pretty far, I see now how my experience can benefit others. So you're looking at a whole bunch of years. My first sponsor got 20 plus years, and my second sponsor got 30 something years. I don't play with people who don't have recovery under their ass. I'm telling you, because this is a life or death disease, and these ladies saved my ass a couple of times. But God's grace and mercy keep me here, right? So I can't be nothing without God's grace nor His mercy nor His strength. I'm not religious. I'm not religious by a long shot. But you guys, I'm going to close with this. You guys told me in step 3, right? We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. That don't mean what you say. That means as I understand God. And the same God that carried me, Julie, from back then is the same God that carries me fucking today. And I formulated Him when I was 18 and didn't know a motherfucking thing about life. So this program works. I love you guys. This disease is cunning, baffling, and insidious. You guys know it as cunning, baffling, and powerful. But we all trudge this road together, man. No matter how you got here, please stay and do the free work. It's free. Take advantage of a fucking free program. It'll change your life. You ain't gotta pay nothing. All you gotta do is sit down, shut up, listen to learn, and learn to listen. You know all the fucking cliches. Do it, and your life will get better. Thank you for allowing me to share. I love you, and that's it for me.